Uh, alrighty. So it is 6:30 as I have scheduled this live. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is according to what I'm supposed to be seeing on my screen. Let me also put this on silent before it kind of disturbs my chain of thoughts. I see nobody has come through yet, but we are going to continue. Everybody's gonna meet me along the way. So I have a disclaimer. I got a flu. I caught myself a nice case of flu. So now and again, I am going to be coughing. I would believe that I'm getting better. That's what I would think. I'm getting much better. I see somebody has just come through. Who is my friend from Ability Your High. Yes, you are here first. Thank you for coming through. I know it's a weekend. It's Saturday. Um, and there's a next person too, Nonzuzo. How are you too? Thank you so much for coming through. I highly appreciate this for sacrificing your son. Why am I thinking today's son? Today's Saturday. Today is Saturday. Yesterday was Friday. I don't know something about today as a Sunday feel. Am I the only one? So in case you did not hear me, I do have a case of flu. It's kind of like recovering, but at the same time, it keeps coming back. And so now and again, I find myself coughing, and it also alters my voice and kind of like ties my tongue as well. The thing is, you guys, what you don't know is that about me, I don't get sick. I'm not a sickly person. And ever since COVID, I also caught COVID in case you didn't know. And it kind of like did a little number on me, particularly around my lungs. So one little sniff, ah, my lungs celebrate and say, got you. Because all these years, you have never, ever been sick. Because I don't get sick. I've never slept in a hospital before. I always visited people that slept in the hospital before when I was a kid. I wanted that anchor when you break your arm or your leg, and then these kids they come back home anchored with this white thing. I don't even know what it is because I never knew what it was. And I'm the only kid who always wrote a message of encouragement or something like that, but I've never worn it, even though I have dropped myself from the rooftop on a tree, trying to break my bones. If you look at my legs, I've got scars to prove what I'm talking about. Oh my God, Neo, 70 Rand, thank you so much. My goodness. Oh, wow. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much, Neo. Thank you. Oh, Neo. Neo, please forgive me, guys. I am still a coconut. I am still a coconut. So if I say Neo, you are Neo. So I'm terribly sorry. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys, I yesterday, let me just share with you. So it was my birthday yesterday, the 14th of July. And then you guys have been showering me with money. This would make it 1,170 Rand. Yep. 1,170 Rand. That is my transparency of what I received in monetary terms yesterday and now seven. Actually, I'm lying. There was a $25. I can even show you the email. Oh my goodness. Let me just show you. I hope I can find it. I hope I can find it. So that I can show for my birthday, y'all. For my birthday. There it is. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you'll be able to see. There $25 USD, if you can see. So if you add that, I think that will make around 1,500 Rand just from my birthday. You people are incredible. I hope wherever you are that God or whatever higher power that you worship blesses you abundantly. Like, just bless your children, their children's children, and the generations going forward. Because this to me is something I have never experienced in my life, ever, ever. So I'm so grateful for that. So I see that comments are coming through. Let me deal with the comments, and then I'll also come back and speak to you. I see a number of people come in. Neo is laughing. I'm so glad you're not offended. Okay. Notice says, I'm well, Clantis. Hope you are too. I'm very well. I'm very well. As you can see on the screen, I've been blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you. From below to your heart, no, you are too happy after mopping the. What did I do? Oh, not my apartment. Oh, okay. Malabo is here, auxiliary nurse. Happy belated birthday to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Um, from Peter to your house, heart. Thanks, Neo, on behalf of Clantis. No, thank you. Thank you so much. Neo, I'm South African Coke. There we go. So you understand because with the level, as long as you understand that when I see NEO, the first thing that the brain will read is in English. And then it will hit you like, oh, by the way, I'm in South Africa. When we see this name, it is Neo, it is not Neo. Caroline Lewis says, what does being a coconut mean? Oh, trust me, you don't want to know. Let's leave it there. Evidence is that I called Neo. I think that will give you a little bit of a clue what a coconut is. From below to your house says you are blessed, man. No, I am. Oh my gosh, I'm so blessed. I am so blessed. Auxiliary nurse says, we thank God for all the generous people in your life. May it be multiplied. Indeed, please, just please multiply wherever that came from. I'll be very, very happy. From Pillow to Your House says, Caroline, it's a black or with white tendencies accent. Did you now have to go and tell her? We are the lost souls. Oh, Caroline Lewis says, thank you, Pillow, for educating me. I was lost. You really didn't know what a coconut is, Caroline? Some people call us what Magwinya, others call us Oreo. The whole point is that on the outside you look like a black person, but inside you're so white it's not even funny. Oh, I get you, Clantis. You get me. No, no, thank you. This was such a great laugh. The first 8 minutes, my lives always go crazy. Instead of me reading my script here, all the pointers that I want to talk about, it always ends up going sideways, and then we end up talking, just hanging out, which is something I highly enjoy about the lives. I don't know why I don't do lives as often as I should. Probably in 2023, this is my second live stream, and I need to change that, honestly. Caroline says, honestly, I didn't know. Wow. Okay. Well, then now you know. See, your surname, how I would have read it if I had not known, if I had not done some Zulu lessons, because I'm Zulu, right? I would have read your surname as Caroline Sub or N Sub or N Cube, one of those three. I would have read your surname. But because I did some Zulu lesson, I did like a night school learning Zulu. And can you imagine my Zulu teacher was a white lady at what else school again? I'll tell you. It's by University of KwaZulu Natal. Come on, man. Durban girls. Durban girls. That's where I used to go every night to learn isiZulu. And the irony of it is that when I studied school, like primary school, I was the only black kid. And now tell me why when I'm doing Zulu classes, I am the black, I'm the only black guy and everybody else is white. It was like a full circle. And the irony of it all, white people were looking at me, they're like, where you from again? And I'm like, oh, I'm born here. Born where? Like, no, here in KwaZulu Natal. So why are you here with us learning isiZulu? And I'm like, please. I have to explain myself. But I had no choice. I had to explain them like, oh, I remember one white guy says, so you're a coconut. I'm like, there we go. Yeah, you can call me that. So now you understand. So me, because I'm like the early millennial, now revealing my age. I am on the fourth floor. Indeed. So that was like the dying days of apartheid, and then white schools are starting to intake black kids, and so I happen to be one of those because though I grew up poor, somewhere somehow my mom always managed to get me into these really really good schools, and then when I got into these schools, I never disappointed as well. So I was always considered intelligent, if you know what I mean. And so that's how these white schools were able to take me in because I caught very quickly and I learned everything quickly. And then I even got a scholarship to go to high school, which was not paid for by my parent. And let me tell you something, the I remember very well the school fees was 52,000 rand a year. So it was a private school, but at some point government came and negotiated and said, okay, can your school be 50% private and 50% government, because there were more black kids that were coming into the schools and they cannot afford this amount of money. But that happened when I was leaving the high school. I think I was getting to like grade 11 into grade 12. I don't know what happened thereafter. So I went to good schools without my mom paying a cent, simply because I was considered intelligent or something like that. So that is a short story as to why. By the way, the whole coconut thing, it's something that was supposed to be thrown as an insult to people like me that went to like white schools by your friends that went to township schools or rural schools, and then they did not speak English the way you spoke English, and therefore they would say, when I we coconut, when I we guinya or Oreo. And it used to hurt me, I must say. Now, come on, that's my middle name now. Let's go on with the comment section. Caroline says, don't read my surname in coconut language, please. No, Miss Mube, definitely not. Pena is in the high glances. Hi, Pena, how are you doing? You see, with Pena, I would have said Pino. That's how I would have read the name. But I know that it's a male name, right? Pena. So there we go. So, guys, how you doing? Is there anything that you would like us to talk about apart from what I have here before me? Because I was going to wind up the week that was, of course, with the boy Clantis. And the thing is, I wanted to talk about a case that I did not do this week of Zandile Mafe. And everybody keeps asking me to do this video. To be honest with you, I was not quite following that case. In fact, I didn't even know that it was already back in court and that Zandile decided to plead guilty and admit that he's the one who burned down Parliament. Now, I have so many questions around this because the question I kept getting asked was, do you believe that he is responsible burning down Parliament? And I sat down and I started watching news clips about this case. And of course, I came to a conclusion because of one, I think it was his final words before he was sentenced. And that was very interesting to me. That rant he went on, that was very interesting. And I thought, I got to understand the type of person that we were dealing with, and I found him to be very fascinating. So I thought, okay, let's talk about this, but I'm not going to say everything that I think because I'm still going to do like an in-depth video and my own. I think I'll just do the analogy here, and then I will do the details video or detailed video on Monday regarding the case because y'all just so interested about my thoughts regarding that case. So if you were listening, let me just talk about um, what I noticed about him. The first thing that I noticed about him is that he's politically knowledgeable. Not just politically knowledgeable, but he is politically scientifically knowledgeable. As if he went to university, learned about political science, even though he's not as good when it comes to articulation, but you can understand what he's trying to say. Like you could tell, like this guy knows politics. Now the question is he like your armchair politician? You know, those people that like talking politics without maybe substantiating whatever it is that they are saying politically. But this guy, he has files, he has some kind of strong feelings about what I think whenever he looked at the parliamentary building. Because as a South African citizen, you must know that parliament, that is our democracy house. It represents you and me. That when we look at parliament, we're supposed to pride, with gratitude, and with respect. So for him, he did not look at parliament the way we're supposed to be looking at it. And he does say why he did what he did. Number one, he said, Black people in South Africa are suffering while white people in South Africa, they are thriving, living their lives. White people that are uneducated, they have the highest positions at work and earning far better than black people. And then he went on to talk about how white people have been murderers towards black people, and he went on and on and on, and then he was just pointing and just being really really angry. So then I looked at him and I was like, okay, he's from Cape Town. Chances are, whenever he walked past Cape Town, drove past Cape Town, I mean, past Parliament, he always saw a house that misrepresented him, a house that has betrayed him, a house that betrayed what was supposed to be freedom for Black people, not only from apartheid, but from colonialism and things like that. He speaks of politics like right wing and left wing politics and centralism and all that sort of stuff. And then when he looks at Parliament, he thinks that is the house of betrayal of Black people in South Africa and it needs to go down. Now, I've been to Parliament before, and then I can tell you to enter there is not that easy because it is a national key point, and there are signs everywhere where you are warned not to reach or touch this particular part of the precinct. And then you ask yourself, then how did he enter the precinct? How did he enter inside the premises? Not now the precinct alone, but the premises in order for him to have executed what he executed. Then I was like, okay, clearly he was staking out Parliament, looking for the weak points about Parliament. So that means he was studying it. And then I think if I enter into his head, he knew when was to enter Parliament, where Parliament is at its weakest. It is when there is a joint house, meaning that this is where either there's opening of Parliament or there is a budget speech or midterm speech or whatever the case is. And then if you know anything about those events, you will have politicians dressed up and showing off their fashions and all that sort of stuff. And who is watching who else is going in and out? Because, of course, intelligence, the army, the police are protecting the politicians. So he sees an opportunity, he slides into parliament. But the question now is how long has he been hiding inside the premises of parliament? Because you can't slip in during, let's say, opening of parliament and then you slip out without burning the whole place. So that means he slipped in and he started living there for a while. He found himself a chamber or something or some kind of place where nobody could see him for all these months. And another thing, if you go into parliament as well, the gallery, which is the public, can come in and out to listen to debates, to go into like portfolio committee meetings. And guess what? Those portfolio committee meetings and any meetings that are taking place in Parliament, food is provided. Free food is provided. So he probably came out wherever he's hiding in Parliament and get himself enough food to take with him in his hideout within Parliament. Because when he burned down Parliament, we were under lockdown, I think. I think at that point, food probably ran out and he thought, you know what? Okay, party's over. Let me do what I came here to do. And then that's how he burned down Parliament. Now, the question I'm asked, do I think that he did? And I'm saying, yes, he did. He found a weakness, he used the weakness, and he's been living inside the premises, I think. Again, guys, me and my two IQs. I'm not saying anything else because it makes no sense that he would enter the premises of Parliament when there was absolutely nobody that was roaming the streets of Cape Town, especially the precinct of Parliament. I don't know if I'm making any sense here. If I'm not, please comment in the live chat here. I highly appreciate that. Okay, let's go back to the live chats. Let's see. Let's see. Guys, I was gifted 70 Rand by Neo, and I'm just going to leave that there just to say thank you so very much. Do not feel bad if you don't see your comment being posted. So, yeah, thank you. Uh, from your heart, from pillow to your heart, guys, let's not make, okay, okay. Guys, let's not make this guy laugh because it's, oh my gosh, I could go on and on and on when I laugh. She's right. I can go. Oh, Betty, how are you doing? You're doing long. Sorry, I'm late. Actually, you're not. You're about what, 20 minutes in? No, you're not late at all. Caroline says, Pillow, he should laugh. It's his belated birthday. But the thing is, Caroline, I don't stop. That's the problem. I could laugh throughout this live without stopping. She's telling you from her experiences with me whenever I come live streaming. So don't make me laugh. Victoria's sisters, weird as this may sound, I'm happy that now we'll have an African inspired design for that wing that was burned. Actually, this actually reminded me of something. You remember when the Guptas were still around? They wanted Parliament moved from Cape Town to the city of Pretoria. Of course, they wanted the tender to build Parliament. And because they had made some kind of remarks that, oh no, this building is so colonial inspired, blah, 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 blah. This should be done in the African design. I hope you didn't take that from the Gupta's Victoria sisters. Please, I beg, because their job was to get that, what do you call this, the tender, because it was going to cost billions, not of rands but US dollars, to build our parliament in Pretoria, because they said it makes no sense that Cape Town is going to be another capital city of South Africa when the capital city is what do you call this, is Pretoria. Well, I think he was shut. They were shut down about that because my first suspicion was that, oh my goodness, they did that deliberately so that they can take Parliament to Pretoria, and then of course, as you know, our politicians and tenders. So, but now I'm convinced that the guy that burnt Parliament is the right guy that is being held accountable. From pillar to your heart. So true, Carol. He's Mr. Party. I'm just switching off the heater that is right in front of my face because I'm starting to sweat. Why? Because y'all are making me laugh. Hi, Pilu. Hi, Betty. Hi. So basically, those are my thoughts. Please, guys, you can leave me comments as well or a question in the live chat if you want us to talk about anything else. We can talk about the cases that I dropped this week. I think, let me see, what did I drop? The Willis Luther. the identification of the second body that Dr. Nandipha Makutumana, I call it Princess Makutumana now because it's clear that this woman, she's not going to be held accountable for anything that she has participated in. When it my I switch on, oh come on, people. Okay, now it's going off. She's being treated with kid love, and there are things that are starting to reveal themselves. You know how they say, I think it's the Bible, what's done in darkness will come out in light. And now I think the light is starting to shine on some of these things. And now we're like, some of us who always been suspicious from the get go, we're like, ha ha, we knew it, we knew it. And now things are starting to show up. I also did, let's see, what else did I do? Princess Makutumana's anticipation uh, regarding her appeal, which was quite a surprise for me where it was held because I thought it was going to be held at the Supreme Court of Appeal. I was quite shocked to see that it went back to the judge that actually said, no, you lost this one. But I also got to understand that leave to appeal means you have to apply to the same judge who denied you and say, no, 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 you made a mistake here, and I'm here to tell you that I have a better prospect with a different court, meaning a higher court than this one. So please grant me access into that higher court, because that judge what would have to do is would have to hear the argument on the basis of why you lost the case. So in this case, Princess Nandipha lost on consent, that you consented when you were picked up in Tanzania. You did not protest, you did not kick and scream while you were being taken to the private jet back to South Africa. So now the argument now was on the basis of consent, and it was interpreted brilliantly by her lawyer. You know, I felt so guilty watching Dr. Nandipha Makutumana's lawyer and how I was feeling. I was like, this guy is good. This guy is good. And I had to remind myself that, hey, he's representing a very dangerous woman here. Stop celebrating. You know, I'm very inspired by intelligence. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm very stimulated by intellect. The moment you demonstrate intellect to me, trust me, I'll be putty in your hands. So I think that's what had happened. I found myself Guy Cruz would say, "Hi, Wena." He represents the princess, but he was good. He was so good that even the state, when it tried to rebut him, they were just going around in circles, repeating and trying to sound a little bit assertive. But the fact of the matter is, they are not answering the questions that Nadiva's lawyer has placed. All these nuggets that he placed on the table, basically hitting at them like, y'all, in your affidavits, you did not mention consent in any of your affidavits, answering affidavits. After, of course, an answering affidavit, it will be when the plaintiff, meaning the applicant, will basically state their case. They will make accusations or allegations, and then they send these allegations to the people that are going to defend themselves. Number one, it's a notice to defend, a notice to make an application, and then you have to also respond by saying yes, you are going to defend the matter, or you're not going to defend the matter, and then they will send founding affidavit. The founding affidavit is the one that's going to have all these allegations, and then you're going to have to respond as per these allegations. And then the state, this is the Minister of Police, the Minister of Home Affairs, the National Prosecuting Authority, they all messed it all up. And now this lawyer, counselor, was having a field day at the Bloemfontein High Court. Clearly, he's going to have a field day at the Supreme Court of Appeal, because when you looked at Philip Lobster, the judge that denied Dr. Nandro Magutumana's application the last time, he looked a little bit tamed to me. He was like, okay, I see my mistakes. I think he believes that he sees his mistakes regarding his ruling the last time. And that is why I think when he comes back with all these case laws and case studies and all the stuff that Kessler brought to his attention, basically interpreting the consent part. I think he ate a humble pie. He was like, ah man, I'm gonna have to make a decision on this woman. And this has a potential of also, I'm not gonna say public unrest, excuse me, I'm not going to say public unrest, but more like public outrage. And the public outrage is going to be on the judiciary. And you know, a judiciary must not be found wanting in a constitutional democracy. So he would not want that burden on his shoulder. But at the same time, it's being brought back to him by saying, yeah, you erred here. Your judgment was inconsistent with the law and the facts that were tabled before you. So now we would like to take this matter to a higher court. Please grant us leave to go there because we believe that when we go up there, we have a good prospect of winning that case or our case. So, meaning that that whole application is going to be re-argued, but nothing will be changed. They can't add any new evidence. That also includes the plaintiff or the applicant or the defendants, meaning the Minister of Police, the Minister of Home Affairs, and all these other ones. They can't argue anything different from what they've already argued at the lower courts. And now that is where Kessler is like, this one, ma'am, you are out. Not only are you going to be out, or you this matter is going to rule that you were indeed kidnapped, but it's going to be withdrawn. Any charges against her regarding the Thabo Bester matter or saga is going to be withdrawn. And anything that whatever investigators are finding about her will go through the window. They'll be like, well, South Africa, it's your fault because Sugena Papa. Basically, I keep saying that because I oh Begitele Papa or what you call Aaron Mutwaledi even saying no, take us to court too. Yeah, no, take us to court too. We want to answer for ourselves. Only to find out Mutsenege, your own answering affidavit has two different versions. The High Commission and the Secretary are saying two different things. And of course, what do you think Princess Nandipha's lawyers are going to do? Are they going to say which is true? Which one do we go with? This one or we go with this one? Because they are all binding documents, like legally binding documents. So you cannot bring a contradiction to a court if you want to win. Also, you cannot use a certain terminology and only that terminology to mean many different things. Be specific and say, this is it and this is it. So this is where we find ourselves because the reason why I'm elaborating further on this again is just me using my two IQs. I'm like, okay, I think I see where this is going. You guys are asking, no, please elaborate more. Do a live and elaborate more because I did not understand here. What did you mean by this? Listen, the law is the law. And then you cannot say as a person that, oh, I did not know that that law existed. There's a say, or I think it's a principle of the law as well, anywhere in any democracy in the world, that ignorance of the law is not a defense. Just because you didn't know that that law existed does not mean that you should, what do you call this? You should be allowed to do as you please. The law was there, it's always been there. And of course, we are not all going to read the laws and familiarize ourselves with the laws that exist in our country. The only time probably you're going to find out that you're not as it's like noise pollution. People don't know that noise pollution is actually a law. Your neighbor can call the police and say, my next door neighbor is making noise for me. And then you can actually go and get prosecuted for that. Some people don't know that exists. So And secondly, the question that I was asked was, no, this does not make sense. Why would the court withdraw charges? Does that mean they're going to send her back to Tanzania? No. Tanzania has already declared her as an undesired alien. So South Africa can't send her back and then go back and start following extradition laws. That train or that ship sailed a long time ago in April. Something that South Africa was supposed to do is what they were doing with Bishop, what's his name again? Bushiri, as well as the Guptas. You see how long the process is of extradition? Because there needs to be argument. You give the person that needs to be extradited an opportunity to hire a lawyer in that particular country. And that lawyer's job is to defend them as to why this person should not be sent back to South Africa. What dangers does this person faces the moment they land in South Africa? I'm sure you kept hearing about this case of Mohammed versus the president of South Africa and others. That's the case that I believe that the state kept using about Mohammed. But actually, both the applicant and the state they kept using. Yeah, undesired alien. When you are a foreign national, by legal term, you are an alien. When you are basically we saying foreigner, but the legal term is alien. So I know what you're thinking. It's not those green people with big eyes and what do you call this? Those ones that you see in those movies. No, we're not talking about those. We're talking about a foreigner. A foreigner is known as an alien. So Princess Nandipha Makutumani and her boyfriend are undesired aliens in Tanzania. So now the point that I'm trying to make is uh, how do you arrest or rearrest a person that you broke the law in bringing to South Africa? How does a court rule in your favor you having broken the law yourself? You cannot do a wrong to correct another wrong. The law is the law and it needs to be followed to the T. That is why it's taking long for Bushiri to be brought back to South Africa. Why? Because the process is long. So as South Africa, you have to wait and grind until the end. Another case that I can tell you about regarding extradition was that of what was that? Come on, it was in my head. The guy that came to Cape Town for his honeymoon, and his wife was shot and killed in Cape Town. What was that case again? Come on, not Duani. Is it Duani? Divani? Yeah, the Divani case. Did you see how long it took for Divani to be brought back to South Africa? A whole 3 years. No, 4 years. 4 years. So that is the process of extradition. It takes as long as 4 years sometimes. So South Africa needed to wait, be patient, and follow the letter of the law until the judge in that particular country is satisfied that Thabo Bester and Princess Makutumana are going to not going to enjoy inhumane treatment when they land back in South Africa. I know it's like what does it say? Yes, the law is slow but certain. So that is exactly what South Africa did. Papa, they wanted things done like this because another thing you must also understand the people that are in charge of the country, they are a political party. And we are going to national elections in 2024. So they need to be seen to be doing something. Now they were flouting the law at the same time. And that is working against them because now it's making South Africans, the voters, even more agitated, more angry. I've seen people in those SABC live streams during these cases saying, I cannot wait for 2024 and remove this government or remove this party from governing. So they lost. They are losing either way. So trying to impress us, But bringing Princess Nandipha and Prince Tabo back to South Africa, no, it's not working in our favor. As a matter of fact, it has set them free. And oh yeah, there's another question that was asked about what did you mean that Tabo Bester? Because he already had a convicted criminal. True. But what do you mean he's also going to walk free? How was he brought back to South Africa? If you read extradition law, it talks of a convicted person and it also talks of an accused person that fled the country where they were convicted or they accused of a crime. Immediately for Thabo Bester, extradition process kicks in for Thabo Bester. So now you are bringing him to South Africa without following extradition processes. How do you think this case is going to go for him? Because they're going to let him go. They're going to say, because we think, think about it. Think about it. You are convicted to 65 years imprisonment. You only serve 8 years. Then you bring in a body of a person that you burn down yourself to escape. May Katlego Bereng rest in peace. And I'm so sorry to the Berengs. I don't think you guys are going to see justice for Katlego. I am so sorry to tell you that. I'm sorry to be the first one to tell you that. You are not going to see justice for Katlego. I, I, I I think at this point, this is when you need to start moving. Like, don't forget him, celebrate his life, but start accepting and move on. Because Thabo Besa, like I'm saying, he's a convicted criminal who was serving 65 years in prison, only served 8, escaped and went to Tanzania. And then he was taken from Tanzania illegally and brought back to South Africa. Dr. Nandipha Makutumana is like, no, honey, no, no, no. Mina nawe sobona nangale. This is good. This is good. I will go and I'll make an application. I will challenge our deportation back to South Africa. Of course, did not follow extradition laws. So if the court finds that I was brought back to South Africa illegally, guess what? Honey, you were also brought back to South Africa illegally. And if I'm let gone, guess what they're gonna do to you? They're gonna let you go too. And now the problem is how then the state rearrest Thabo Bester in South Africa? Because remember, he was brought back to South Africa illegally. Illegally. So does Thabo Bester roam around with the likes of us, the law-abiding citizens, and while the state is trying to figure out how to rearrest him? Mhm. You didn't think about that now, did you? I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Unless I am incorrect and there are ways of arresting Thabo Bester and throwing him back to prison to continue serving his 65 years imprisonment. But where I'm standing, that's it. This is it. That 8 years that you served, that's enough. That the country broke the law in bringing him back. It did not follow extradition processes. See, these people are smart. Oh, forever, yeah. Now I see. They say go into a relationship with someone, what do you call this? Your energies match. This one, not only they match with energies, but nana, sharp people, very, very sharp people. And it's just unfortunate. It's just so unfortunate. I think I've rambled enough. Let me read the comments. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I did warn that I'll be coughing in between. From Peter to Hout. Okay, okay, I've read that. I've read that. Okay, Victoria's sister says not at all. That place doesn't represent us at all. I always never liked the environment. I dreaded the days when I had to attend meetings there. Yeah, I also over the years, I also started feeling the same way as that we are not being represented. And I think the current situation, childishness. by politicians. If you had to ask them how many laws have they created in our best interest in the past 15 years, they're not going to be able to show up with anything. They'll show up with half-hearted legislations. I don't know if you looked at the current IEC Act. You know it was amended to incorporate the new law, which will now going to allow independent candidates to run for elections. For example, if you think Clantis is the right person to vote into parliament in 2024, now it's a new law. You can vote for me directly to go and represent you in court. I mean, in parliament. Now, the IEC Act needed to be changed. And now, when you read this IEC Act, it is absurd. Absurd. It needs amendments as far as I am concerned. It needs some people who with brains to serious. I don't even know how it was signed into law by the Constitutional Court. Okay, I know the president signs it into law, but how did the constitutional court say, "Oh, yeah, yeah, we approve of this, president, you can sign it into law"? I don't get it. But anyways, I've also stopped thinking that Parliament represents us all. I feel that it protects a lot of people from being held accountable from within Parliament and outside of Parliament. And by outside of parliament, not only politicians, but it's also protecting people whom supposed to be on their knees begging us for forgiveness, but they are climbing on our heads doing as they please, as they did far back in 1948. Not all of them, but the ones, that 1% that is currently gripping our economy, those are the people I'm talking about. Those are the ones that are giving us the breadcrumbs. And are we supposed to be appreciative of that? I no, no. So I also don't like. I don't like that house. Yeah, in the past I did respect it. Now I don't. I really don't. So I don't give a rat's tail whether Zandile Mafe burnt it down. He could have just. I don't. I really don't. Caroline Weber says, I need clarity on the Princess Nandipha. Why would she be removed from the accused when she is the mastermind in this escape? Heard a quite number of experts saying that. Heard from you also. Yes, she's not, when you're an accused person, you have to go through a process of trial. In the process of trial, this is where you are declared or determined to be the mastermind. At this point in time, we don't know who the mastermind is. I still believe that Dr. Nandipha, Princess Nandipha, she is handled. Somebody handles her. And this her handler is a powerful person. Whether it's a powerful politician or a powerful business person, we don't know. So if you remove her from the accused, you are removing her on the basis of what the court is going to find regarding her application that she was kidnapped from Bloemfontein, and laws were not followed. So laws were not followed. Of course, she cannot go now and be held accountable for what? Who did you bring back? How did you follow the letter of the law to bring her back to South Africa in order for us to hold her accountable by prosecuting her? And if she's found guilty, then you convict her to a whatever specific prison term. So all that we've been robbed of. I don't think we'll ever hear why she did what she did. We don't even know what other stuff that she's done. I don't know if that clarifies anything. If I confused you, please let me know. Caroline continues to say, "Damn, he was so good. I watched it over and over again. That lawyer is superb. I even shared the video with my friend who is doing final level in LLB." Yeah, you and I had a conversation earlier. Like, did you feel guilty? You were like, "Yeah, I felt guilty." I also felt guilty. Like, hey, I was impressed. That lawyer impressed me. I was like, yeah, yeah. Celia says hello, birthday boy, and everyone in here. Hello. Thank you so much for coming through. How are you doing? How are you doing? I feel like all this is staged. I think so too. You know, you know how drama began, right? Back in the Roman Empire, they used to use real people for death scenes. I think they used to use like prisoners, Christians around the Nero days. I think Nero didn't like Christians, so he would go and sit and watch a drama, and in the killing scene, a Christian getting killed. So, yeah, this is a stage drama with warm bodies, definitely. That's what I'm trying to say. Caroline Weaver says, Celia, it is staged indeed. The whole thing is calculated to the T. I think, yeah, definitely. Hey, Celia. Undesired alien. That's the legal term, I think, for foreigner. You know that song? Okay, now I'm gonna be revealing my age. You know that song? Oh, I'm an alien. I'm a illegal alien. I'm a whatever in New York. Remember that song? Yeah, I'll leave it there. And Caroline will go like, so these two lovebirds will be free while those who helped his to escape will be convicted. Yeah, every man for themselves. Whenever this is the thing about criminals. There's no honor amongst them. Uzosbona ndoda. Who said you must get yourself involved in this? So I think they are going definitely going down, and I think the law is going to come down heavily on them to kind of like send a message in case another um, couple like this happen to hit our streets. But I still think that Matwara might join Princess Nandipha and Prince Tabo. I think so. I think they're gonna find a loophole because he knows the handler. I think he knows who the big fish is. Now they need to find a way on how to get him out. As for the Pulu and all the other ones, we don't care about them. We care about the man who was doing the payments. Hmm, that's why. That is why he's so cocky on the socials. Why do you think he's so cocky? Have you thought about it? Dude, your bail conditions are saying do not communicate directly or indirectly with the witnesses. When you are posting a orange jumpsuit, whatever it is, you're basically trying to say something to the other people that may find themselves in the same situation as yourself. He's I think people need to read between the lines what he's trying to warn the other ones. I don't know. That's just me. If I was a state, I would call a sitting. I would just make an application, bring him back to court, and say, "What do you mean here?" And if it's found that indeed he is sending encrypted messages to witnesses, throw him back in prison, revoke his bail. That's just my thoughts. Karangoba says the pillow doesn't want us Clantis to laugh when he's provoking us with his sense of humor. As for honey, I will, you know, that just came across my mind. I didn't even think about. As for honey, I will make the application and challenge her arrest. I am at fucking it. Now that I'm reading it out, I didn't hear myself when I was saying it. Please let me try and stop. Caroline says to make I meant you know I got you. Hey Sonia too, how are you doing? How's Namibia tonight? I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for your support. Life with Alice, hi to you too. Thank you so much for coming through. We kind of like having some fun. I'm trying not to laugh. I'm really, really trying not to laugh. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think what that conversation was like between Dr. Nandipha Makutumana and the boyfriend. She was like, honey, I got this. You just have to relax, you know? Who do you think I am? Already, people out there, they are so taken by me and my beauty, by the way. Oh, by the way, you two, you got like a fan base. I can tell you that. And some people think that you should be released. There's a hashtag release Tabo Bester. So now we're just going to capitalize on that. But first, I need to go make that application and get our butts out of here so we can reunite. I don't know, and continue doing whatever it is that they think they are going to continue doing because that's how it's looking like. If you don't see what I see, then I see blind. We are very blind. There's another thing that I wanted to talk about here. Uh, the commissioner. The commissioner of the Department of Correctional Services. I mean, I know, guys. I hate it when my intelligence is being insulted. No, 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 Mafetu, no, no, no. Our intelligence was being assaulted by the commissioner of the Department of Correctional Services. For me, Leno and I, we're having a conversation like we always do. And the question we're asking ourselves, hey, girl, what do you think was in that envelope? In my mind, I'm like, I think it was a check. If it was not a check, it was an instruction to the commissioner by Tama Bester, or it was a love letter to the princess. But whatever it is, hopefully someday he'll. But I don't think he'll reveal the real thing. I really don't. But the question that we're asking ourselves is it even allowed for the commissioner of the Department of Correctional Services to be collecting any items from a prisoner, whether it's still an awaiting trial prisoner, but a prisoner nonetheless? So that's where we're a little bit stuck in our discussion. Like, hey, something ain't right here. Something ain't right. And there's a video that was also leaked, which is something that Lelo and I are going to discuss. We're going to be having a collaboration, guys, a nice, healthy collaboration that is coming between Lelo and I. I also saw some people making accusations at me that I'm copying her without realizing that Lelo and I talk practically every week with each other. We bounce off ideas of each other. But anyway, it's not something that I want to discuss here. I just found it hilarious that somebody will say, "Oh my God, why are you copying her?" And then I'm letting her know. We were laughing our lungs out. We were like, "Oh my God, do they know that we actually communicate?" And another thing that you guys will understand about her and me, we think alike. We have the same mind. The moment a story breaks out, she will do her own analogy and I will do my own analogy. And then when we call each other, it's the same thing. We thought it the same thing. Like to the T. Yes, we do disagree here and there, but it's always the same thing. So great minds think alike, I suppose. Stanley Mujaki sounds good, not a coconut. Did you hear when I pronounced your surname? You changed your mind now, hey? Puluku's in the house. Hi, hi. Hot hearts to you too. Thank you so much for coming through. Well, let's go back to the commissioner. And I feel that was staged. How do you hold a press conference with a type of bester right behind you who already told you that he does? No, no. Prisoners, when they are ill treated in prison, the entire world gets to know about it. So if Thabo Bester was really being tortured, do you think he would not want to speak to even one journalist? Think about it. Journalists thrive on this type of information. When they hear that a prisoner is being mistreated, they want to know what is it. They want to know what is it. And Tower Bester did not want to talk to the media. And who's relaying this message to the media? It is the commissioner. It is the commissioner. Nah, I don't buy it. You go to the Kronstadt female prison and then you walk into what looks like a classroom that, and you're saying that's the salon, and you're looking around the people that are busy plaiting hair, and you're like, hey, this one, have I not seen you on Small Street doing hair? Or maybe you, no, no. And you look a little bit closer, you're like, no, man, I've seen this face before. This lady's from Mozambique. But why would she be locked up in Kronstadt? Because she sits at Small Street doing hair. No, these people are actors, Moss. And the lady that was trying to, I don't know if the supervisor of the salon was trying to explain things, and in my head, I'm like, ma'am, what are you explaining? What are you explaining? And then you have the commissioner say, oh, this is, how did he put it? No, but it's somewhere along the line of workshop. Skills development. Yeah, I said, so this is, how do you ask that question when you know that your prison is supposed to have skills development lessons? I was like, wait, whoa, no, the action movie. This is an action movie. We're being lied to. We're being lied to, guys. I do not believe anything that we were told. There was a message that needed to be sent, and they thought, hey, the only way a commissioner can visit without questions, let's call the media and say he's going there for inspection or whatever the case was. And how many? Let's talk about. Oh yeah, he says that Princess Nandipha Makutumana needs to be kept on the at the hospital side of the that prison because it's highly secured, and she's also a high profile. Ananias Mate was Ananias Mate because we know that he was a high profile. Was he was he ever put in the hospital side of any prison that he was kept at? Because when he did his Houdini's, he did it in a hard code cell, rubbing Vaseline all over his face, I mean his body, at the Jose Mampuru maximum prison. That's what he did. Not from the hospital side. So what is this nonsense that you are being told by the commissioner? No, Mina, I refuse. I refuse for my intelligence to be assaulted in that fashion. Caroline Weaver says, no, you are not copying Lelo. You have us, your subscribers, who wants the juicy details. I don't watch Lelo, so I don't see her analysis on things. I'm not trying to shade her. I just don't watch her channel. No, it's fine if you don't watch her channel. That's okay. Because as a content consumer yourself, you have people that you gravitate towards better over others. But I can tell you that Lelo N is brilliant. She's a very intelligent girl, very hardworking, very much passionate about what she does. That much I can sell her to you in that way. She is an incredible human being as a whole. That part I can tell you. So as to you, whether you watch her channel or not, that's your prerogative. That's fine. I'm sure it's even fine with her. That's okay. We don't all gravitate towards the same people. You might find me more interesting, or some people might find me more boring. As a matter of fact, I've had people making comments saying, you are so great and now you have a likable personality. The only thing that I hate about you is your teeth. These are my teeth. Every gap between my mouth is where it's supposed to be. And I'm fine with that. The discoloration of my skin is where it's all supposed to be, and I'm fine with that. The gray hair, and then my beard is all black. I didn't create myself. So some people get irritated by other things over other people. So it's something that you don't have control over. It's fine by me. If you don't like me, cool. I don't know you. You don't pay my rent. You don't buy my food. You don't take me to the loo. You don't clean me. So why should I necessarily care about what you say about me? So I know that that's not what you're saying, Caroline. I know what that's not what you're saying. I think you are more saying that I gravitate towards more to a channel like this over a channel like that, which is completely okay. Like what Alice says, true definition of Lelo right there. Right, exactly. Because that's exactly the person she is. That's exactly the person she is. She's an incredible, incredible human being. Love her to bits. Oh, by the way, we do watch each other's videos. We do. She will call and say, "Wow, I shouldn't. Why did I think of that point?" And I'll call him if I yes. I'm like, "Why did I think of that point?" And you'll be like back and forth, and we have each other's numbers, like personal numbers. We chat to each other like that. So don't ever feel that whenever you saw a video from her and it's similar to the one that I just did, trust and believe it's something that you must understand that we have the same mind. We think alike. Yes, here and there we're going to disagree. And then you will hear her saying it in her video that, oh no, I didn't disagree on this, this, and that. And she's not going to mention whom she's disagreeing with. And me, if I feel like, okay, I also disagree with something that she said, I'm not going to mention that I disagree with her. I'm going to tell you my point of view, just like she will tell you her point of view. That is what content creators, we are colleagues. That's what content creators ought to be doing with each other to begin with. Okay, now I'm confused. Okay, wait. Now, wait. Please, I beg you. If you got children and you got things going in your life, I would so appreciate it if you took it back, this 70 rand. I would not have a problem. I really would not. But let me read what you're saying. Here's for wine. Love your sense of humor. Those people should create their own human beings because clearly they are not satisfied with God's perfect creation. That's true. I do not like telling people. Usually, I would keep quiet. I will not say anything. But I'm now expressing it that if you ever feel that you don't like how dark my skin is, or maybe how old I'm looking, or you have a problem with the gaps between my teeth and the unevenness of my teeth, that is something I have no control over. I didn't ask. Hey, I didn't even ask to be here to begin with. I'm talking Earth, let alone me worrying about how I look. How I look is how I look. Everything that you see about me is where it's supposed to be, just like you too. If you are beautiful and you are perfect, that's how you're supposed to be looking. That's how you were created to be like. That's got nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing to do with me. If I feel attracted to you, then I felt attracted to you. If you don't feel attracted to me, keep it moving. Isn't that how life's supposed to be like? I don't understand this. I don't get it. But Neo, thank you. Thank you. You are so kind hearted. You are so kind hearted. And wow. Jeez, man. Now I'm speechless. And I'm cancer, in case you didn't know. Cancers, we cry the drop of a hat. We are crybabies. And so when somebody shows a act of kindness like this, we cry. Okay? So congratulations. So I'm gonna allow to try and choke the tears away. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is insane. Let's go on. What did I want to say as well? You see now, yeah, Jacob Zuma. I don't like talking about this one because it bores me to death. Like, what are you gonna get out of a 80, almost 90? But let's gossip about something. He's a former president of the country, right? And the Constitutional Court comes and drops a ruling yesterday. Don't you think few days prior they told him that actually this is the ruling that we are going to deliver against you? And then suddenly in Moscow, trip ensued. And the question is, do you think he's a fugitive now? Do you think he's gonna come back? I don't know. That's this is my question. Because when I heard that he's in Russia, I'm like, no. I think the ruling was concluded on Monday and it was told on Monday, and the country was only to know on Friday. And the corridor was open. You know that corridor that Dr. Nandipha took, Bushiri took, the Guptas took, and goodness knows what else took that corridor to kind of like escape from the law. Do you think maybe also? I don't know. But anyways, guys, this case for me, boring. Uh, and then let's come to yesterday, which is Friday, on my birthday. Dr. Nandipha Kutumana had to do this on my birthday. Yes, her appeal was heard by Philip Lobster, and I believe that Lobster is going to rule in her favor. It's either he's going to grant her leave to appeal at the Supreme Court of Appeal. When are we going to hear the Supreme Court of Appeal application? It's going to determine on Dr. Nandipha Makutumana herself whether she's lodging an urgent application there or an ordinary application. If it's an urgent application, I think by mid-August we are going to hear the appeal. If it's just an ordinary one, yeah, I think 2024 around this time or even much later. Wait, dude, what's happening? Oh, okay, 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 okay. I get you now. I get you now. Okay, you know. Nell says my ex is ex. We are many people's exes. Trust me. We are many people's exes. Can I ask a question? After who broke whose heart first? Let me start there. Because if you broke the cancer's heart, I'm imagining the kind of traumas that you are struggling with right now because you are not going to break our hearts and then we'll just let it slide like that. We serve revenge very cold. I think when we talk of karma, you're talking of cancer with the most loving, nurturing, smothering, sensitive, loving, loyal, all those words, we are the mother sign. Let me put it that way. We are the mothers. Okay, I know I'm a man, but symbolism. We are the mothers of all the zodiac signs. But get on the wrong side, child. You need to like run. When you're going to break up with the cancer, you must be right there by the door and say, "Let's break up, bye." And rest assured, we will hunt you down like the dog that you are and deal with you. All I can say is, what a roller coaster of mood swings she had. She was. Sorry for going off topic. Now let me explain to you the mood. People tend to think that we are moody when we actually not moody. We are not moody. What happens is you need to match our energy and our vibe. Remember, we are forever scouting for whether today are you in a good mood or you're not in a good mood. that sound. I think it's a real, if it's not a TikTok sound, where this lady wakes her boyfriend or her husband and she says, last night you pushed my hair. I want to know, that's a cancer. That's like a typical cancer. We want to know at all times if you love us. I'm so sorry. I'm revealing the secrets as well. I'm so sorry, Nero, that you went through that. Oh, can I say is thank you, Nero. Clantis is a great guy. Oh, come on. Please don't make me like that. Don't do me like that, please. He deserves it, man. I love what you are doing here. I'm so grateful to you, Nero, as well. I'm 100%. I'm in awe, actually. I'm definitely in awe. Betty says, you come back is never nice. We don't forget. Okay, I get what you say, my friend. I get what you say. Oh, guys, in 15 minutes, I have a collaboration. I think I already told you guys about Lelo N and I are going to be doing a collaboration at 8. So I need to prepare for that collaboration. And I want to say thank you all so much for being here. It was fun. I laughed a lot. Thank goodness I did not laugh my way of doing it. It would have been long. It would have taken way too long. But no, thank you so much, you guys, for your love. Thank you, Neo, so very much. May where you've taken in Zulu we say "Lauthathe khona akwande kwande," and I will say in English, may you, your children, and their children's children be abundantly blessed. I bless you too for your blessings that you have bestowed on me. Thank you so very much. I am so grateful. I'm so, so, so grateful. So, yeah, guys, I think we've had our fun for tonight. Guys, let me know. Would you like me to come to do live streams now and again, or how do you want this to be done? Because if you're not going to say anything, I'm not going to do live. Let's have an agreement. How do we do this? How do we do this? Before I go, how do we do this? Do we do it every Saturday? Do we do it once a month, twice a month? Let's see some comments quickly before I go. There are 12 people that are on the stream right now, or 10 now. Please, I beg you. I think I need directive from you so that I know every Saturday I come here and we have a wonderful time and have like a one-on-one in real time. I'd love that. Oh yes, please do. Okay, okay. I would say every Saturday. Okay, okay. Betty says, "Wish my English is not Englishing." Ah, the data is depleting, my friend. I know it. They're depleting. They start the graph is basically now plateauing. I get it. This time of the day, you're like, yo, even if for a coconut, by the time you go to bed, you're like, oh my gosh, my jaws. Let me prepare them for tomorrow. Twice a month for a start. Okay, okay. Nell says yes, once a week, but you can get drained. So do it when you feel like it. Oh, thank you for that freedom. As for Englishing, yeah. Hey, Caroline, when you are on this channel, we create words. We create, especially Betty and I, we always have a different word for anything and everything. I think even yesterday when we were talking on WhatsApp, there was a word that I'm not sure if it's me or her who created it, and we were laughing over it. Yes, please come back. I've missed this family meeting. Oh, okay. So it looks like the consensus is let's do this on Saturdays. Okay, let's do this. Let's try it out for the next 3 months and see if consistency will be there every Saturday at 6:30. Do you agree? If you agree, just say yes, and then we'll call this evening a night. We'll call this evening a night, and then we shall see each other again next week. right? Okay. Can I see the yeses? Can they start coming? No. Yes. Okay. The first one. Okay. I just need two more. And then I know that, okay, this is the, okay, there's a second one. One more. Hey, Joyce, where have you been? Neil says yes. Okay. Okay. I think with these three, I now have an idea that for the next 3 months, let's do every Saturdays, 6:30. We'll come and have this family meeting. We just hang out. We talk about anything and everything. You can even prepare me questions. You can ask them on my DM on Instagram at Clantis underscore Tumagute. I do respond, I do engage. People get very shocked that, oh my goodness, you really responded. And I'm like, yeah, why would I take, why would I not? They're like, oh, people are busy, they're living their lives. Da, da, da. I understand that. No, me, I would respond, definitely. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Let's see each other again in my next live this coming Saturday. Oh yeah, that's good because yeah, okay. No, I was thinking about something. Yeah, let's do that this coming Saturday. And yeah, thank you all so much for participating. Thank you for the blessings, Nero. Thank you so much, every one of you that is here in the live chat and those that have not commented. Thank you all. I definitely love you guys. I know that like, how do you know that you love? I do. Okay, this is no, I do. I'm a Cancer. Naturally, I'll love you. Okay. Found this by chance. Oh, what did I miss? Everything. You see 140 rand on my screen. What would? Oh my gosh, that's how much you've missed. Guys, goodbye. I love y'all. Bye. Bye. Thank you. I don't want to miss this collaboration. I think Lelo should be calling very soon. Bye, guys. Much love. Thank you. Thank you. Hey,